Greetings, folks. This is the Independent Black Voters on Facebook as we continue vetting the candidates for the primary. We are now here. It is time to vote. But more important, it's time to be an educated voter. So we will continue to put the information out, and we ask you, grab those ballots. We have endorsement ballots. Look through them so you can get the right names and the right people, because it's time for a change, folks. I see some good things happen. I've never seen this amount of defenders who have said it is time to come out and make a change on our system. So today I'm happy to have here Ms. DEDREE Butler. She's running for office for judgeship. How are you today, Dee?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. I appreciate you taking the time.
Oh, you're welcome. Tell us what you're running for. Tell us a little bit about what that position entails, and then tell us a little bit about you.
Okay. I am running for Family Court Judge, Department J. There is currently an incumbent in that position, and there's another opponent. I am the best choice, of course. I will explain why, but family court is my passion. I started my legal career at a private firm where we primarily did family and insurance defense. Mm-hmm. We need judges in family court, especially who are compassionate, fair, and diligent, because family court judges are making decisions that are impacting our families, not just for a couple of months, not like for a couple of years, like I deal within criminal law, but these decisions impact families for lifetimes. No one, when they get married, of course, decides one day I'll get divorced. So people standing in front of family court judges are highly emotional, usually dealing with a lot of trauma, and they need judges who will understand what it feels like to stand in their shoes and make fair decisions based on the law. So that is why I'm running for family court judge. I am a mom of 3. I've been telling my story. A lot of people know I've been divorced here in Clark County, Nevada. So I've been through it. Down in family court, I did not see any other judges that look like me. So when I learned this year that all district court judges were running, yes, I'm currently a public defender and I love my job as a public defender. I currently serve as team chief of the domestic violence unit. So for me, I'm in court every single day representing people who've been accused of domestic violence and talking to victims of domestic violence. So there's a major intersection between criminal law and family law, because most of my clients want to know how this will impact their companion family case, but they can't afford to hire a private attorney for criminal. They surely can't afford to hire a private attorney for their family case. So they usually ask for guidance and how to work and maneuver through the complex and sometimes very scary family court system. So I try to help them with that as well. I've continued to represent clients pro bono in family court because as a public defender, that's what we do. We stand next to people in their worst moments, and we provide the best zealous advocacy for people regardless of their ability to pay for counsel. Last quick point, tying that in, because I'm a public defender, I understand that in family court, we have about 70%. A lot of people don't realize this. 70% of people approximately in family court are representing themselves. Mm-hmm. They have no idea how to work the system, how to file the motions. So we need judges like me who can relate and who have dedicated their careers to public service and standing next to people who have no idea how to maneuver through the legal system. So as a family court judge, I would be patient and treat all people with respect in that regard.
Outstanding, because that's what we're looking for. I got my man Jason on here. Jason, how you doing today? Can you hear me?
I'm doing well, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hi, Jason.
Hi, Miss D. How you doing, Swedler?
Good.
Jason is a crucial part of the of our team, of the Black Book Media team. So he takes all this and makes it look beautiful. So I'm glad to hear that. Again, having seen both sides and going through the system gives you a different understanding of actually the system and how it affects it. It comes into your family. And that's obviously going through different situations right now. You're already dealing with difficult situations, and you need to have people who do have compassion, who have understanding, and especially, and I say people, this is independent Black voters. We need to have people who look like us. We need to people who understand our culture. We need to have people who understand that those, many of us, like you said, they cannot afford to have an attorney, but they still love their children. They cannot afford to potentially have their have an attorney, but they want to have access, be in their child's lives, and they may have even had some missteps prior to the divorce, but that doesn't mean that they should not be in their child's life. And many times, because of the biases that are already there, it is doubly hard for a Black person to get equal justice under the law in many of our courts. So we're glad you're here and running. Tell me a little bit who.
Thank you.
Yeah, the incumbent. You're running against an incumbent, right?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me where. If you focus and you look at the existing situation coming in, what would you focus on that you think it might be lacking right now, and you think having a different person in there like yourself would automatically improve the that court?
Thank you. You know what? I would ask people to do their research. You can Google everyone running for judge, including the other people in my race. If you Google the incumbent in my race for Department J, you would immediately see a long list of judicial discipline. There will be YouTube videos, and I ask people to just watch, because these are videos that are taken of the judges just doing their normal job on a daily basis, and just watch and listen to how people speak to people before them. As far as me, when I watched the videos, I was just very disappointed. I understand when people are already having a tough time in life, dealing with their worst moments, the last thing they need, on top of the basic fear of walking into court, is a judge who is cold and harsh, especially in family court. So there is a very controversial video where there was a child custody matter that the current incumbent judge was disciplined by the Judicial Commission of Discipline, where she's basically berating a child, a 12-year-old child who's crying, screaming, doesn't want to change custody, doesn't understand what's going on. And I understand family court cases are complicated, but basic decency and respect and kindness and how you speak to people, especially a child, that's not something that you can learn in any class. It's just who you are. It's your character. So if people watch the way she spoke to that child and other people before her, in that specific instance, she threatened the child, said, if you don't follow my order and calm down, I'll send you to Child Haven, which is jail for children.
Mm-hmm.
So just imagine the trauma there. And like I said, as a mom of 3, my kids, I have 2 daughters, 8 and 6, and a little 1-year-old son. So that's personal for me. Just imagine a child who is not their choice, that their parents are going through a divorce, and she's in court, and you have this person of authority basically talking down to you, being very insensitive, showing no compassion to a situation. So as a public defender for over 10 years, we're in court dealing with these type of matters every single day. People who are highly emotional, don't understand the court system, but understand that we're the one voice in that courtroom speaking for them, fighting for them on their behalf. So as a family court judge, unlike the current incumbent, I would make sure that I'm patient and show that compassion that people need in those moments. So that is the biggest difference, because a lot of people talk about experience. Well, there's no experience like being in court every single day. We see all the judges. We see the good, the bad, things that we like, things that could be better. I've represented over 3,000 people in some sort of way over my years as a public defender. But like I said, in family matters, that's where I got my start, and I continue to represent people pro bono. Another thing I would like to mention as far as kids, I started in the public defender's office in the juvenile division of family court, appearing in front of Judge Voigt, but representing kids there. So I understand that there are going to be times where kids are heard in family court matters, and you especially have to have a certain degree of patience and understanding and compassion when kids are before you.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to tell you something, Dee. We've talked before.
Yes.
You know, unlike many of the people that have been interviewed with me, you know, you have been endorsed by the independent Black voters. I say
Thank
that,
you.
yes, I say that because it is very important that we're trying to get the community to understand that the primaries and the judges are important. Many of us don't realize they're the people who get into your lives when you don't want people into your lives. And many times, and
Yes.
this is the independent Black voters, we wait till the horse is out the cart. We don't like the results and the judgments that come, and not just in family court, but across the bases. But we're not taking the opportunity to vote in the right people. We're fortunate here. In some states, they are appointed. And
Yes.
if they're appointed, it becomes political. And it becomes just whoever's in power appoints who he wants or she wants. We are a state that gives us the people, the opportunity to choose our judges. And it's interesting because I found out that there are 1 million voters, but less than 100,000 actually vote in the primaries, and less than those vote for the judges because they just don't know who they are.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's the goal of the independent Black voter, was basically to educate those who have not voted of their need to vote, and those who have voted but have ignored the judges of here are the people. If you want change to come, you need people like DEDREE Butler. You need people like the crew. You need people who have said, it is time for us to come out and make a change. And if they're going to put themselves and their careers on line to make a change, and we don't support them, shame on us. So I thank you for coming out and being part of this unusual phenomenon that I'm seeing, where so many defenders are coming out and said, we need to be judges. We need to make the decisions, because historically, if I'm right, it tends to be prosecutors who are who are judges. And unfortunately, if you're a prosecutor all your life, and especially if you had a silver spoon all your life and were a prosecutor, you don't necessarily have a real world understanding of what's going on with the communities all around, but especially the communities of color. So
You're correct.
Okay.
And if I may just comment on that, because I do want to give thanks to a couple of people. I know you interviewed Ozzie Fumo.
Yes.
Very well-respected defense attorney in town. Someone like me coming up, those are the names that you hear: Ozzie Fumo, Thomas Pitaro, and you want to be like them. You see them in court. Bill Terry, nice and so respectful, but still do an amazing job defending. Last year, we were all talking about exactly what you're saying. We sit back and we watch the prosecutors run. I will tell you, from going through the process, I understand why more people do not put themselves out there, because it is incredibly hard work. Before this world pandemic that everyone's struggling through right now, we were going to events almost every single night. People are trying to balance campaigning with a hard career and also being parents. So I now understand firsthand how hard it is to run. But as defense attorneys, we were encouraged by the Ozzie Fumos that we need to step up instead of just sitting back complaining, like you say, about the system. Step up. Do the hard work. Put yourself out there. Let's try to go forward. Let's be the change that we want to see. And my other shout out real quick, of course, Belinda Harris, BTH, just for our office. the public defender's office, she's the one who really encouraged a lot of public defenders to get out there, because we have our small meetings within our office about social justice, criminal reform. But again, without putting ourselves out there trying to run for judge so that we can have a major impact, it's just a great movement to be a part of. So thank you for taking the time. Thank you for recognizing the effort and the hard work and giving us this opportunity to speak to the public.
Well, you're welcome, because as I stated, I've been a person, I believe in voting, you know, one way or other. Even if you don't like one candidate, I believe you have to vote. And then you have to work on getting the right candidates in. Not voting is not the solution. I admit, and I'll be quick to admit, that I thought that just by simply voting that I was doing my civic duty. I admitted to people that before this journey with me, when I got my ballot, I only voted for the names I knew, and the, you know, maybe the state assembly or the president, and I skipped by the judicials because I didn't know who they were, and I really didn't know the power that is there for the judicial candidates. I really didn't understand how important the primaries were, because you can literally win your race in the primaries if you win 50% plus one vote, right?
It is possible. It has been done, but it is incredibly hard. But yes, that would be, of course, the goal, to just win in the primary and be done and be able to just sit back and support your other people who have general elections. But it's incredibly hard to do, because that means that in a race like mine, where there's 3, the other 2 candidates, of course, are getting less than 25% each. And it's incredibly hard in a race with an incumbent, because people sometimes are just comfortable with that word retain without doing their research on what exactly they're retaining. So again, that's why I appreciate all these avenues to get the information out, and hopefully people will do a little more research. And it's hard. I can admit, even as an attorney, we're all asking each other, do you know this person? Do you know this person? What's their reputation? Okay, let's Google. And unless the person has a website, but most of us do now. So we've tried to make it a little easier for people to do their research this time around.
Yes, and you're so correct on that, because it's been a journey. If I didn't have my man Jason here working miracles on the video, we wouldn't be able to put out a clear message, because even though, you know, there's a lot of data out there, we look at it from a different perspective in the independent Black voters. Like you said, in the past, there has not been as clear of an opportunity, but in our reality, the Black vote has more power in the primary than every other than actually the general. But we use our power less in the primary. We don't vote the primary. And the funny thing is, if we came out in block and we voted for the candidates here, they would pull upsets in the primary that have never been seen before. They would change the game, because right now, as you said, a small amount of people vote. And that's why it's so very hard in the primaries for the good candidates to win, is because a small amount, and they're not the people who are in front of the judges that are voting. They're not the people that want equal justice that are voting. So I believe this is a unique time, through social media, through grassroots, that we will be able to pull a change like it's never been seen in Nevada before. We support you. We want you to win. Folks, I'm going to tell you, this morning, I said this, Jason, I took out this independent Black voters. I gave it to my garbage man, and he thanked me for giving him that information. I walked next door. I gave it to my neighbors. I asked them to give it to their sons who can vote. I will be seeing all of my family, and I will be giving them and say, you have no choice. Take these to your friends and family. We need a grassroots moment here where we are basically helping our people, and everyone, when I say it, to be an informed voter, to go out there and vote. We need to not have a certain amount of people who control who judges are. We should not have judge makers. the community should make the judges. And this will happen this year. The pandemic is horrible, but maybe this will be what was needed to spur this change. And so that we in America can start first taking back the judges, then going forward and taking back all of the other areas of our politics where we can really start to be we the people again. Your thoughts, Jason? What do you think?
I think you hit it right on the button, Brian. There's not much I can say after you say all that good stuff. So yeah, I support you, Ms. Butler, and we look
Thank you.
forward to that. Seeing more people like us in higher areas. So we're encouraged, and I have mine, Brian, too. I have my paper too. I'm not sure.
Yes.
Got mine too.
I need some of those.
Yeah, and I've been passing mine out to everyone as well. I have some more. Actually, I need some more, Brian. So when
I'll get them to you, man. So D, I want you to break it down here. D, where'd she go? Okay,
sorry.
I want you to break it down here in closing. Tell them again who you are. Tell them again why you are running. You know who you are, what your department you're running, but tell them why you're running from the heart. What made you decide to jump off this bridge? And as I say, if not me, then who? But thank you, and now take it home for them.
Thank you. Again, I am D. Butler. I am running for Family Court Judge, Department J. This position is important to me because I am a mother of 3 who has been divorced here in Clark County, Nevada. I have stood where people will stand before me if I am elected family court judge, and I understand what it feels like to stand in that space. As a public defender, I represent people going through their worst moments every single day in court, and I treat them with the utmost respect and without judgment. We need more judges on the bench who look at people before them with respect and treat them with kindness, and who will apply the law fairly, diligently doing the hard work to make sure they are prepared and present in court so that we can make the members of our community proud about the people that they elected to the bench and not disappointed. Families are so important to people. Those decisions that are being made by family court judges will impact those families forever. People will always remember what happened when they were dissolving a relationship and who got custody of the kids. But most importantly, they will remember how they were treated in court, and that impacts people's lives in a major way. And that should be the most positive experience that you could give someone. So I'm really running for judge because I know my character. I know my reputation. I worked hard fighting for people, but always treating people with respect on both sides. I respect the DAs I work with, and I just want to make sure that I can give back to the community that has given so much to me. I don't know if I said it, but I did attend the William S. Boyd School of Law right here at UNLV. I felt very nurtured by my professors here. And when I entered the legal community and started in private practice at Schutz and McGahey, I felt very nurtured by the attorneys here in town. So to whom much is given, much is required. And we are with the independent Black voters right now. We can't ignore the fact that representation matters. When you look at the picture of family court judges that's hanging in family court, there's no one who looks like me. No one who looks like you. So we need good people who are also a representation of our diverse community here in Clark County, Nevada. And diversity as far as what we do in our legal career. So people who have dedicated their careers to public service. And that's it. D. Butler, running for Family Court Judge, Department J. You want a judge who is compassionate, fair, and diligent dealing with these matters, and that's me. D. Butler, the smart choice.
Thank you, D. And this is the independent Black voters, another candidate, folks, that we need to vote for. So today, you may receive your ballot. Monday, you may receive it, but take the time to be an educated voter. We are putting out our information. Use it. Like I say, there are our recommendations, but use it as a guide. If you want more information, you can go to www.edreebutler.org. bbtvnews.tv, where you will see all of the various interviews that we've been fortunate enough to have. Our vote is not free. When we take the time to be educated voters, the community wins. Thank you very much, Dee. It has been a pleasure to talk to you today. Jason, you want to say anything signing off?
Thank you, and I'll look forward to seeing your name on the ballot.
Thank you. Thank you both so much for your time.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.